afternoon, the student in grade 9. So today we go to unit 17, the Little Red Riding Hood. So this is the title of the story about a brave girl called Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, that she can face with the wolf. Okay. So before we start, I would like you to look through all these words. We have the word hood, velvet, pet, manners, oval, wicked, bouquet, weak, and the word promise. So what does it mean all these words? So look to here. So where the word hood is noun, yeah, it's a top closed, we call hood or closed. Velvet is a type of food, but it's very soft. That is made from or it woven from silk. Okay, silk. We had the word woven, woven ប្រែថាត្បាញ silk ប្រែថាសូត្រដូច្នេះ velvet គឺជាកណាត់សូត្រកោឈ្មោះកណាត់កម្មញីតែប៉ុន្តែវាចង់និយាយថាវាទុនណាដល់កណាត់វាទុនដូចកម្មញីអញ្ចឹងដែលផលិតចេញមកពីសូត្រ velvet pet មានន័យថាផ្លូវ manner អាចនិយាយថាជាលក្ខណៈឬក៏ពេលខ្លះយើងអាចសំដៅទៅលើអត្តចរិតណា manner បាទអត្តចរិតឬក៏លក្ខណៈរបស់មនុស្សណាម្នាក់អូខេ manner wicked is an attitude it's in a bad guy we call wicked bouquet is a bouquet is noun មានន័យថាបាច់ផ្កា weak is an attitude ប្រែថាទន់ខ្សោយpromise is now a verb សន្យា prevent is verb មានន័យត្បាញ and the last word is silk មានន័យថាសូត្រ okay so look to our lesson so all these words we had a cross puzzle only mean we have cross បានន័យកាត់ទៅតឹងបាទ down បាទពីលើចុះក្រោមអញ្ចឹងបន្ទាប់ពីលើចុះក្រោមកូនមើលទៅលើ column down ចំណែក cross កូនមើលទៅលើ column កាត់បាទ cross column ដេកហ្នឹងហៅ across អញ្ចឹងកូនមើលអត្ថន័យដែលគេបង្ហាញហើយជើគាត់ទៅបញ្យល់តទៅអត្ថន័យវាទេណា polite way of treating other people or behaving in public polite way បាទគឺជាចរិតមួយដែលគួរសម of treating other people treat មានន័យថាការធ្វើទង្វើទៅកាន់នរណាម្នាក់ and behaving ឬក៏អកប្បកិរិយានៅក្នុងទីសាធារណៈតើមានន័យថាម៉េចឧទាហរណ៍ទៅពាក្យហ្នឹងមានន័យថាហ្នឹងកន្លែង cross number 3 is manner បាទអញ្ចឹងគឺ is a polite way of treating other people and behaving in public បាទហ្នឹងគឺលក្ខណៈឬក៏អត្តចរិតបាទក្នុងការសម្ដែងក្នុងការបញ្ចេញនៅក្នុងទីសាធារណៈឬក៏ធ្វើទៅកាន់នរណាម្នាក់អានេះគេហៅថា manners so number 3 is manner ចុះកន្លែងគាត់ដាក់ cross អូខេបាទ down morally wrong bad for you but in attractive way morally បានន័យថាសិលធម៌ណា morally wrong and bad for you ខាងផ្នែកសិលធម៌គឺមើលទៅខុសហើយគេធ្វើទង្វើអាក្រក់មកកាន់អ្នកប៉ុន្តែ in attractive way តែនៅក្នុងផ្លូវមួយដែលគួរឲ្យតាក់ទាញចង់និយាយតាក់ទងទៅនឹងល្បិចដូចថាគេលួងលោមគេអីចឹងអាហ្នឹងហៅប៉ុន្តែនៅក្នុងគំនិតមួយគឺមិនល្អបាទអញ្ចឹងពាក្យ down ហ្នឹងគឺមានពាក្យថា wiki បាទ wiki so wicked មានន័យថាមនុស្សអាក្រក់ឬក៏ នៅក្នុងន័យហ្នឹងគឺបែបហ្នឹងហើយគឺមនុស្សអាក្រក់ហ្នឹងឯងអញ្ចឹងកន្លែង down ហ្នឹងគឺគាត់ត្រូវដាក់ wicked អូខេឥឡូវយើងចាប់ដើមមើល cross number 5 part of a piece of clothing which can be pulled up to cover the top and back of the head. Okay, so it's mean hood. Okay, so number 5, part of a piece of clothing which can be pulled up to cover the top or back of the head, we call hood. And number 7, when you say that you will certainly do something. So number 7 is, so what is it? When you say that you will certainly do something, this we call promise. Okay, promise. And number 8, a cloth usually woven from silk or cotton with a thick soft surface. Okay. គេថាកណាត់ដែលផលិតជាធម្មតាត្បាញពីសូត្រ or cotton បាទ cotton which is thick បាទស្ដើង soft ទន់នៅផ្នែកផ្ទៃខាងលើ surface. So we call velvet. Okay, so number 8 is velvet. Number 2, down, a group of flowers arranged to be given as a gift. So we call bouquet. Number 4, for a short period of time, a while. Okay, for a short period of time, we say a while. Go for a while. ទៅណាមួយផ្លែត And number 6, not strong, mean weak. And number 7, a route or trail between one place to another. Let's say a route or trail between one place to another. So number 7 down is នៅក្នុងនេះនៅក្នុងកន្លែងហ្នឹងគេអត់ឃើញ cross អូត្រូវហើយវាមាន down មាន cross អញ្ចឹង 7 down is pad route or trail មានន័យថាបើសិនយើងដើរព្រៃវាអត់មានជា street ទេណាវាមានគ្រាន់តែជាដានណាឬក៏គេហៅថាផ្លូវដែរហ្នឹងណា Okay, so go to our story about Red Riding Hood. In this lesson, we're not going to tell you a whole story, but just a part of story, okay? And we will continue to another lesson. So I would like you to read it carefully, listen carefully.
Tape script 6.17.1. Once upon a time, there was a sweet little girl. Everyone who saw her liked her, but most of all her grandmother, who did not know what to give the child next. Once she made her a hood of red velvet. The little girl loved the hood so much that she had worn nothing else since receiving it. Since that time, people had called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, having heard that her grandmother had taken ill, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called to her, "Come, Little Red Riding Hood, here's a piece of cake and a small pot of butter. Take them to your grandmother. She is sick and weak, and they will do her well. Mind your manners and give her my greetings. Behave yourself on the way, and do not leave the path, or you might fall down and break the pot, and then there will be nothing for your sick grandmother." Little Red Riding Hood promised she would obey what her mother had told her and set off on her journey. But Granny lived out in a forest, half an hour's walk from the village. While Little Red Riding Hood was walking in the forest, she met a wolf. But she did not know what a wicked animal he was, and was not afraid of him. "Good day to you, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf. "Thank you, Wolf," she said. "Where are you going so early, Little Red Riding Hood?" he asked her. "To my grandmother's house," she replied. He asked her what she was carrying in her basket. To this she replied, "Grandmother is sick and weak, and I am taking her some cake and butter. We baked yesterday, and they should give her strength." Then the wolf asked, "Little Red Riding Hood, just where does your grandmother live?" "Her house is a good quarter-hour from here in the forest, under the 3 large trees. There's a row of bushes there. You must know the place," said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf thought to himself, "This nice young girl is a delicious mouthful. She will taste better than the old woman, but I must trick her cleverly so that I can catch both." He walked a while by Little Red Riding Hood's side. Then he said, "Little Red Riding Hood, haven't you seen the beautiful flowers that are blossoming in the forest? Why don't you go and take a look? And I don't believe you can hear how beautifully the birds are singing. You are walking along as though you were on your way to school in the village. It is very beautiful in the forest." Little Red Riding Hood opened her eyes and could see the sunlight was coming through the trees and how the ground was covered with beautiful flowers. She thought, "If I take a bouquet to Grandmother, she will be very pleased. Anyway, it is still early, and I'll be home on time." And she ran off into the forest looking for flowers. When she had picked one, she thought that she could see a more beautiful flower a little way off. Then she would run for that one. All the while she was going further and further into the forest. But the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door. "Who's there?" End of tape.
Okay, so Red Hood. So they normally call her Red Riding Hood. Okay, she's a very clever girl. And one day, her grandmother is sick, and her mother has asked her to take some bread and cake for her grandmother. Along the way to her grandmother's house, she had met the wolf, and the wolf pretend to be a good guy. They will say in fact, a wolf is a wicked animal. Okay, and for that, the wolf tried to ask Red Riding Hood where she's going, okay, and what is she's carrying. So Little Red Riding Hood, she doesn't know about, about a bad idea of the wolf, that the wolf want to eat Red Riding Hood and also want to eat her grandmother. So Red Riding Hood told the wolf everything, like where is her grandmother's house, okay, and so Red Riding Hood tell everything to the wolf, that it's dangerous for her grandmother, and how the wolf want to eat. So first, the wolf show Red Riding Hood that in this forest we have a lot of beautiful flower. Okay, the flower is blooming, and Red Riding Hood said if we had a bouquet for her grandmother, maybe she's very happy. And so that Red Riding Hood tried to pick up one flower and then look to another flower. It's more beautiful than it. So actually, she's go deeper and deeper in the forest, and she lost the path. Okay, she lost the path when she lost the way to her grandmother's house. So that at that time, so the wolf go to the grandmother's house and knock on the door. So this is the first part of the story, and we're going to continue our story for next lesson. So now I would like you to choose the correct word here. Choose the correct grammar. So we have A to G. Like A little girl loved the hood so much that she had worn or was wearing nothing else since receiving it. ចឹងកន្លែងនេះគឺគេឲ្យកូនរើសនៅកិរិយាសព្ទណារើសប្រយោគឲ្យបានត្រឹមត្រូវបាទ had worn បាទឬក៏ was wearing បាទអញ្ចឹង had worn គឺជា past perfect ចំណែកឯ was wearing គឺជាទម្រង់ past continue តាមមួយណាត្រឹមត្រូវ B one day having heard that her grandmother had taken ill Little Red Riding Hood's mother called or was calling to her B ទី1គេឲ្យកូនរើសពាក្យ called បានន័យថាជាទម្រង់ past simple was calling past continue Little Red Riding Hood promised to she would obey what her mother was telling had told her and set off on her journey Okay អញ្ចឹងទីនេះគេមានពាក្យ was telling បានន័យជា past continue had told គឺជាទម្រង់ past perfect D while Little Red Riding Hood was walking or walked in the forest she met a wolf so the first phrase was walking is past continue walked past simple okay E he asked her what she carried or was carrying in her basket បាទអញ្ចឹងគឺ carry បែរជា past simple was carrying past continue F he had walked away while Little Red Riding Hood sighs អញ្ចឹងគឺតែពេលកន្លែងនេះគឺមាន had walk ហើយនឹង walk ណាបាទគេអត់ដាក់ ball កន្លែង had ទីមួយគេឲ្យជា past perfect មួយទៀតជា past simple តាមមួយណាទៅត្រឹមត្រូវកូនអាចទៀតស្ដាប់ណាកូនអាចស្ដាប់ឡើងវិញឬក៏កូនស្ដាប់ក្នុងចម្លើយតែម្ដង Little Red Riding Hood opened was opening បាទគេថា Red Riding Hood បានបើកឬក៏កំពុងបានបើកពេលនោះណាទី1ជា past simple ទី2ជា past continue អ្វីដែលកំពុងតែកើតមាននៅអតីតកាល Her eye and could see the sunlight was coming បាទគាត់ឃើញពន្លឺព្រះអាទិត្យកំពុងតែពេលនោះកំពុងតែមករកគាត់ឬក៏បានមកអូខេ was coming or came through the tree and how the ground was covered with the beautiful flower អូខេអញ្ចឹងដើម្បីនេះចម្លើយកូនត្រូវការស្ដាប់ណាអាចស្ដាប់ឡើងវិញឬក៏ស្ដាប់ចម្លើយយកតែម្ដង
Tape script 6.17.2
A. The little girl loved the hood so much that she had worn nothing else since receiving it. B. One day, having heard that her grandmother had taken ill, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called to her. C. Little Red Riding Hood promised she would obey what her mother had told her and set off on her journey. D. While Little Red Riding Hood was walking in the forest, she met a wolf. E. He asked her what she was carrying in her basket. F. He walked a while by Little Red Riding Hood's side. G. Little Red Riding Hood opened her eyes and could see the sunlight was coming through the trees and how the ground was covered with beautiful flowers.
End of tape script 6.17
already and don't forget to write it in your notebook okay so we go to the past perfect practice as I tell you about the past perfect or we call past in the past so they want to show two actions that happened in the past this is a complete action or complete activity that happened in the past we normally describe about two actions that happened in the past so which one is coming first and after that another action happened អញ្ចឹង past perfect នេះគឺបើនិយាយទៅបើសិនយើងនិយាយថា past simple គឺជាការមួយដែលគេនិយាយអំពីអតីតកាលដែលបានកន្លងផុតទៅហើយអញ្ចឹងណាប៉ុន្តែជាសកម្មភាពមួយទេស ភាពមួយនឹងច្រើនដែលដំណើរគ្នាបាទដែលចង់បញ្ជាក់ថាបានកាលឡើងរួចហើយជាមួយនឹងពេលវេលាជាក់លាក់ជាមួយនឹង time expression ជាក់លាក់ past continue គឺជាកិច្ចសព្ទគឺជាកាលមួយដែលគេនិយាយអំពីអតីតកាលដែលកំពុងបន្តភាគច្រើនគេសំដៅទៅលើសកម្មភាពណាមួយនៅក្នុងពេលវេលាជាក់លាក់ណាមួយជាមួយនឹងការប្រាប់អំពីពេលវេលានោះបាទឧទាហរណ៍ដូចយើងនិយាយថាម្សិលមិញពេលថ្ងៃអ្នកកំពុងធ្វើអ្វីអញ្ចឹងគេប្រាប់ពីថាកំពុងធ្វើអ្វីអញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹងហើយគេហៅថា past continue ចំណែកឯ past perfect គឺជាកាលមួយដែលគេនិយាយអំពីសកម្មភាពពីរកាលឡើងក្នុងអតីតកាលហើយគេច្រើនតែចង់និយាយថាកាលនោះតើមួយណាបានកើតមុនណាសកម្មភាពមួយណាកើតមុនសកម្មភាពមួយណាទៀតជាធម្មតាគេអាចប្រើដូចជាងាប់ when while before after អីចឹងទៅហើយក្នុងទម្រង់ perfect នោះគឺមាន subject had ហើយនិង past participle និយាយទៅឲ្យតែពួក perfect ណាគឺគេប្រើមួយ past participle ហើយឬក៏ verb 3ហ្នឹងក៏តែអតីតកាលគេប្រើ had ដូចយើងរៀននៅក្នុង present simple present perfect គឺយើងប្រើ have ឬ has អញ្ចឹងណាតែនេះនៅក្នុងអតីតកាលសុទ្ធគឺយើងប្រើ had ហើយនិង past participle អូខេអញ្ចឹងមើលទៅក្នុងសកម្មភាពទី5ជាឧទាហរណ៍គេនិយាយថា when I arrived at the internet cafe នៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំបានមកដល់អញ្ចឹងគេប្រើទី1គេប្រើ past simple ជាមួយឈ្នាប់ហ្នឹងហើយសកម្មភាពដែលកើតមុននោះគឺគេប្រើ past perfect អញ្ចឹងនៅពេលដែលគាត់មកដល់យ៉ាងម៉េច they had closed already អញ្ចឹងបានន័យថាហាងនោះបានបិទមុនគាត់មកដល់អញ្ចឹងបានគាត់និយាយថានៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំមកដល់កន្លែង internet cafe ហ្នឹងពួកគេបានបិទវារួចរាល់បាត់ទៅហើយបិទហាងបាត់ហើយអញ្ចឹងអាសកម្មភាពដែលកើតមុនហ្នឹងគឺគេប្រើ past perfect បន្តមកទៀតគេប្រើឈ្នាប់ when ឬក៏ before after while សម្រាប់ពិពណ៌នាអំពីសកម្មភាពដែលកើតបន្ទាប់ទៀត when she turn on the TV អញ្ចឹង when she turn គេប្រើក្នុង past simple គេប្រើ ed when she turn on TV ទៅពេលដែលគាត់បើកទូរទស្សន៍ the program had ended so the program had ended is happened first បាទន័យថាកម្មវិធីចប់បាត់ហើយបាទគាត់ទៅបើកទូរទស្សន៍ហ្នឹងបាទគឺឃើញគេដាក់ the end បាត់ហើយ the driver had stopped at the red light when she answered his phone អូខេអញ្ចឹងនៅពេលគេសួរថានៅទីនេះគឺនៅពេលដែលគាត់the driver បាទអ្នកបើកបរហ្នឹងគឺបានឈប់នៅឯ stop ពណ៌ក្រហមគាត់ឈប់ហើយបានគាត់និយាយទូរស័ព្ទអញ្ចឹងសកម្មភាពឈប់មុន when he answered his phone នៅពេលដែលគាត់លើកទូរស័ព្ទរបស់គាត់ the farmer had collected all the egg before the sun came up អញ្ចឹងបានថាមុនព្រះអាទិត្យរះបាទគឺកសិករហ្នឹងបានប្រមូលពងឬក៏ស៊ុតបាទ had collected all the eggs បានប្រមូលស៊ុតអស់បាត់ទៅហើយអញ្ចឹងបញ្ជាក់ឲ្យឃើញច្បាស់ថាក្នុងការដែលយើងប្រើ past perfect នេះគឺនៅពេលដែលកូនចង់ពិពណ៌នាពីអតីតកាលណាមួយសកម្មភាពដែលកើតឡើងរួចហើយក្នុងអតីតកាលហើយយើងប្រើតាមលំដាប់លំដោយសកម្មភាពពីរដែលកើតឡើងមួយណាកើតមុនមួយណាកើតក្រោយបាទអញ្ចឹងជួបគ្នានៅមេរៀនក្រោយជាមួយនឹង Little Red Riding Hood បាទហើយជាភាពបញ្ចប់បាទអរគុណច្រើន